way out, you know. You know how it is sometimes. So you guys, we don't have this discussion today, so we're here. Let's organize it. What the heck? Who is this? Yeah, man, we just organize. Why this thing keep popping up? Where is it coming? All right, let's try again. See if we keep it. That's why it's coming from that.
Oh, it's not saying no. Can you one thing?
Let me try it again and see if it's working. Can you guys check it? Check it. You can from the side, not the main. You can monitor that.
Okay.
Yeah, man, bless up on yourself. Another Wednesday afternoon. So, Dallas, it's about time we have this discussion and let these people know your thoughts and what your views are when it comes to being a father, because you've already been a dad, fathered many children of your own as well as children of the community and surrounding areas. I know you've had your own experiences growing up as a child in your country where you're from, which is Trinidad, I believe, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So you can tell us a lot about the Trinidadian lifestyle, because I don't have no idea about Trinidad lifestyle. I've never been there, not yet. I want to go, but I haven't been there yet. But tell us a little bit about what goes on in your side of the world and how it is growing up.
Well, things have changed. I know a lot. Things have changed over the years because I left there in 2016, and so 6 going 7 years, and I know there's an influx of new immigrants.
Yes.
You know, a lot of Venezuelans there because of the situation in Venezuela. But growing up in Trinidad, like any other island, growing up in the islands, is different from the U.S. Of course. Yeah, I've been a married father then, and also a single father also back home. So I wear many hats,
Yes.
including being an employee and also being a person in business, and I'll having to juggle all of those things and being a father as well. So I should say, there are a lot of single mothers, there are single fathers. Life in the island is different from the US. There's a little more hustling, but you still have to hustle down there.
Okay.
People are going on working in the oil and gas industry and petrochemical industry. They're also working at regular jobs, and they also have to deal with the fact that they have to take care of the kids.
Yes.
However, they may not have all these social services available, like over here, but there are assistance available. But at the end of the day, I think we have more family support down there when it comes to grandmothers
In the Caribbean.
other family members and stuff. Whereas here, everybody's busy, everybody's say hustling, and like if you grow up your child or children in a family environment,
Yes.
but over here you find that most of the times it's you have to take your children to daycare or have babysitters and all that.
Not for them to have help. And
In order to get help,
someone-
because everybody's working and everybody has to pay bills.
Yes.
We cherish the fact that the older people at home and also family members help you grow up. You really grow up your child in a village, you grow up with a child or children in a community. So we have community help, and we also have, I would say, village help. We have extended family help, and friends and stuff help you growing up your kids. So the kids have that family network more. I'm not saying it is not available here, but you find you have that family support. You know, that family support to give you the help that you need. Like say you in the States, if you have to go out, you have to get somebody to watch your kids legally, and also they got to be paid. I mean, we take it for granted the fact that in our islands, somebody will watch your kids for you. They go to their grandmother, they go to their aunt, cousins, and they look at them, look after them for you. The original question, having kids and growing kids, I've been a father of seven boys, 7 boys. So, it was challenging. Now they're all 27, 24, straight up to 5.
Yes.
But it has been challenging, and I'm glad that they're adults now. The big ones, they're adults, and they're taking care of themselves.
So how it makes you feel proud as a dad to know you've been there, been around them from kids to know you've seen them grow into adulthood,
Yeah.
and what you've invested as a dad,
Of course.
the results.
One of the major things that I worked hard for is having them being exposed to the life out in the States and the opportunities. I didn't want, I know some people may disagree, but I didn't want them to be exposed to the islands where they had less opportunities. I wouldn't bash my islands or our islands.
Yeah.
But I think there are more opportunities available for them as boys, and I took try to open more doors for them so they have those opportunities.
Yes.
Let me draw the reference a little bit to your island, my island. I have some more statistics.
Okay.
You're from Jamaica, and you find that there was some recent stats last year that the majority of crime was committed by boys 15 to 17 years, right? And heinous crimes. And we have a similar thing in the islands where there are young fellas, young kids getting caught up in crime, gang activities and everything. It's not set in stone that happens everywhere and with everyone.
Right.
But I think changing the environment and having that new world experience gives them a better opportunity and a wider cross section, I think, and options they can have in terms of career and different things. So I personally, people disagree, but I personally don't want my kids to be exposed to it.
Yes.
And that's why I moved from there to here. But of course, we just had Christmas and different things, and the islands, celebrate Christmas in a different way, in a unique way, where everybody come together and that kind of thing. But all the warmth and the happiness and the love and everything, there's still a lot of crime.
Mm-hmm.
And whether or not the stats prove, the U.S. State Department, the UK government, and everybody has been placing sanctions. Well, it's not sanctions, but alerts,
Yes.
travel
Alerts.
alerts to all countries, and it's just because of the crime, and we can't deny that. However, I'm an American now, naturalized, and I'm happy, and I'm also happy that my kids have that opportunity now, being Americans and everything. Yes, you miss the islands, but I've moved forward.
Yes. You've evolved when it comes to the things you've learned and the atmosphere you grew up in. Even though you grew up within that atmosphere, you still get the exposure to be around different people, different atmospheres that help you to even learn more than you knew growing up in your country.
Yes. The thing about it, when you look at the opportunity, I was just going to explain to somebody a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
You find that most of the time people go through, have a career in the islands,
Yes.
and they get into something and they retire and they pass on in that career, in that field. In the States and the UK and stuff, you find, I've realized people change 4 and 5 different careers. The guy, he was a doctor, he became a lawyer, and somewhere along his journey in life, he became a banker.
Yes.
And the thing about it is not that people change and time changes and everything, but the opportunity that you in your lifetime you can change your career, change your lifestyle. The sky is the limit. That's an amazing thing. Whereas some people are just set in stone because the career path and certain areas are limited. There are limitations in terms of even let's say at a certain age, you're 50, you're 60, you're 70, you have the opportunity to go back to school or get a new skill set to make different earn money. And also, even for the kids, the younger ones, they have the opportunity to choose whatever they want. There's a wider, whether it's military, whether it's working for the government, working in the private sector, working in the energy sector, or anything they want to do, having their own business, whatever, you can go do a course and or get a certification, get a license legally, and become whatever you want.
Right. And then if you don't like it a few months
You
later,
become whatever you want again.
you could do anything else.
And if you don't like it, you become whatever you want. You know,
Yes.
it depends. I mean, there's a price you pay for that, but at the end of the day, there are more opportunities available to them.
Yes.
Rather than sitting on the corner and you find that these young people, God forbid, they sit on the corner, most of them, not all of them, but you see plaiting their hair and grinding their hand according to somebody, you know, they grind their hand, you know, they have grinding this thing, this green stuff in their hand.
Yes.
And you know,
That's what they see life as.
That's
and,
what they see
and,
life
and have a drink, some rum and a boom or rum and whatever.
and smoking and that kind of
Smoking
thing,
and that's it.
and hanging out. Now that happens anywhere in the world, but what I'm saying, here if you slip you slide. You gotta get up in the morning, you gotta work, you gotta make something.
Of yourself.
Yeah, you gotta make something of yourself, you gotta go there, you gotta work, you gotta put food on the table. The minute you're 18, you gotta get up and get going. There's not, you know, that family support we're talking about, when you're a baby, as we were talking originally, how family support in the island, so family taking care of the baby. But you see here, the minute you're 18, you gotta hit the road jack.
Yes.
You gotta get up and you gotta be independent, interdependent, and get a tertiary education, get a skill set, do something because you're on your own. That's how it's designed.
And would you say that based on your experience, based on what you know and have known, and over the years continue to learn about, your thoughts that a father in a relationship or in a household, what would you say a father, the roles or some of the roles you think a dad should be playing, that some might not be playing or some are playing but could do more?
Well, the thing about it, I believe both parents have both male and female, both father and mother. Unfortunately, things go a certain way in relationships, and you end up having single moms and single fathers. I think the main thing on our talks would be how single fathers cope with it.
Yes.
It was really hard. There were times when I had to travel, and I had long before I had car and stuff. You know, I had to strap up these baby strap up. And everybody
The one
the one in front, man.
Yeah, the one in
So I
front.
remember the movie with Vin Diesel, the Pacifier.
Yes.
So I always have a baby here, and I have a milk, and I have a knapsack, and I was pushing a bottle here, and throwing clothes in the washing machine, you know, doing little things. Yeah, and you were traveling through the airport, taking them to the bathroom,
Yes.
and doing things, you know, as a father. Boys have been fun. I only had the opportunities to grow up boys,
Yes.
but they're fun, and they get big quick. They get up very fast. Back where they can be a help to you. As I said, it's always been challenging. I think the mother has a role and the father has a role, but most of the times people make it appear that fathers are deadbeats, and I
Yes.
said no. There are mothers who are mothers and fathers, they're everything, and there are fathers who are mothers and fathers too.
Yes.
And the only thing you may not do is nurse the child.
Right.
You understand? But you know, you're making the bottle for them, getting them ready for school, everything. Go through the process, dropping them off. I remember some years ago in Menachem, Trinidad, one of my sons was a certain age in primary school. You can relate that to what what do you call it? Not high school, the school before. Elementary school.
Elementary, yeah.
And
You call it elementary.
elementary,
We call it primary
school,
in
yeah.
the Caribbean.
Like when we was in primary school, I usually pick him up, and I got so tired up and I forgot, and I remembered. So I fly into school, and I reach the school, it's empty. But then I see him and some other kids playing, and the security threw an eye on him. He kept, you know, the security, keep watching. The security officer at the school, they were right by the security booth, and he keep watching them. And I picked them up, you know, I picked him up. I forgot. So, you know, I always remember that, you know, but he was safe, and the security looked after the family again,
Yes.
and stuff. But it's challenging when you have to work, balance work, play, and then we have to go have meetings. Sometimes when you drop, we have to travel long distances and have oil and gas industry meetings.
Yes.
And then you have to study when you go back home, now you're dad again, and you have to put something on the fire and make some mac and cheese for them, make something for them, you know.
They can help you. Yeah.
And make a bottle.
Yes.
Yeah, it was challenging, and there were times when it set my mommy. when is she coming back? And I couldn't have the answers for that. I mean, like literally, I would tell them the truth, but anyway,
Was
it was challenging. It was challenging, and now, I mean, raising kids, you always have issues, whether it's from getting milk and making them breakfast to sending them to school, to when they get older and they're driving cars and you know they had an accident, or
Yes.
they're in the wrong company, or or the right company, or even when they go into work and they know start work, you drop them off, you pick them up, or they go to school, you should have the tuition paid for and different things. So it's always challenging, and it's good to see when they reach a certain age that they're able to be independent and, as I say, fend for themselves.
It's funny. A lot of people, when it comes to children, they just see children as children. They don't see children as a person growing into different stages of life. So for them, like a parent would say, "You're still my little baby when you're 25," but instead accept the fact that your baby was a baby, but now your baby is growing up, and there's the different stages that the same thing that you used to do when he or she was 2 months old, you can do when he or she becomes 12, becomes 16, becomes the different ages, because there's different challenges that they will face.
Yeah.
That if you as a parent know how to or try to help them through these different challenges, it makes a better connection as a father to a child or as a mother to a child. And that's what I think some parents are also lacking. You know what I mean? They will invest more time in a function, they'll invest more time in friends, but then they will invest less time in their kids.
There's something I want to share. We learn how to drive a car, we learn how to have a skill, we learn how to have degrees and become a professional.
Mm-hmm.
But who teaches us to become parents? I think it's sometimes a trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
And we know everything that our kids do wrong, but we don't know what we do wrong. And one of the things that just came to my mind, in the older generation, you find that there was some places you have physical abuse.
Yes.
I'm not going to comment on that, but most importantly, they have verbal abuse. Where we say things that can scar children for the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
Saying negative things, or saying things that, "Oh, you stupid, you're dumb." You can get in trouble for that over here. But simple things like that shatter their confidence and self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
The point that you made with respect to the kids and their personality, I have a 5-year-old right now. It's amazing. He's always on the computer and different things. It's amazing. Statistics show that within the first 3 years of our life, human's life, their personality already kind of formed. And it's amazing to see a 5-year-old learn so many words, having a conversation using, I would say, big words.
Yes.
And to see his personality, he wants something or he don't want it, or he doesn't want this, he likes all this taste. One of the things I learned is to let go. You have to hold on, but you have to also balance letting go. Because yes, they are individuals and they have their own personalities and likes and dislikes. And some parents, they try to force themselves on their child. I think the best thing you could ever do with your children is be a friend to them.
Yes.
Because they are sort of, they give the wrong information out there. Wrong information about sex, about life, about crime, about different things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're the first teacher.
Mm-hmm.
The teachers in school as well is important.
Yes.
You spend a lot of time with the teachers. But you are the first teacher. You're the one to show them life and talk to them and discuss things. And there are a lot of parents who go out there and they provide food and drink and
A game.
necessities and a video game, right?
And they think that that's and a tablet.
Yeah, as a babysitter,
Yes.
comforter, a pacifier.
Yes.
But the thing about it, you gotta get to know them.
Mhm.
And you can know your kids, you gotta know their friends too, you gotta know their company, you gotta know when they're thinking, you gotta know when they're hurting. A guy told me a couple of years ago, if your children don't call you, I was telling him, I said, "Yeah, I can get hurt for my kids." He said, "You're wrong." I said, "How am I wrong?" He said, "You pick up the phone and call them." So if you don't hear from them, you pick up the phone and call them. You're living out of town or whatever. So it's important to always check on them and let them know that you're there for them,
Yes.
and they can depend on you. And you're just a phone call away, or just they can rely on you for everything.
And don't have them thinking that it's just for monetary support,
No.
but more so have them, like you say, be a friend. Have them knowing that it's never too late.
Yeah.
When you tell them it's never too late to call, it's never too early, and it's okay. You know, when like you said, open. It doesn't mean it's physically open,
Yeah.
but just the idea is you can. But I can get through to you whenever you get a chance. Mama was just trying to say hi, you know, so and so. And when you have that bond, if you see a day or two pass and you don't hear, then you know something is different.
Yeah.
Because that's not
Pattern
usual.
change.
Yes, and
Yeah.
and that's where a lot of us we lack as parents to keep that connection.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be overbearing. You don't want to be too
Yeah,
much.
controlling,
But
you don't
you,
wanna be
yes,
controlling.
but you still want to be there.
Because the thing about when you're in control, you think you're in control, but then the child's gonna be sneaky and go behind your back and do things. You don't want that. You want, as I say, be a friend.
Mhm.
My father told me be a friend to be a friend. And when you have a friend, then you know you can go to that person and say and talk and discuss anything.
Yes.
And that's what we need to do with the youth. Because
Yes.
let me tell you something. As we're talking about that, we're talking about the Caribbean, we're talking about in the US. You find there's a lot of bullying. And you used to take this for granted. There's adult bullying too.
Mhm.
But youths go through a lot of peer pressure. And I was talking to a student of mine, an adult lady,
Yes.
and she was saying that she had two daughters, and one daughter was doing art,
Mhm.
and she was doing makeup,
Yes.
and she was doing some makeup on somebody, practicing on youth, and every time she would straighten the person's nose and straighten the person's nose, and she finally was overbearing, and she asked her what. So one day she went, the girl left and forgot her phone. And the mother
Yes.
picked up the phone as by accident and saw some text and some bullying that was taking place. And she realized this one boy in school was telling her nose was big and she was ugly and all of that. And she confronted her child and went to the school.
Yeah.
Didn't want her to talk to the social worker. And eventually found what this girl was always trying and doing things to make her nose narrow. It's because this boy was bullying all these other girls and
Yes.
showing them sex videos and different things. And he was pressuring these girls and other girls and let her talk. And it's a good thing she found out. And because the guy told her her nose was too big, you know. So it's important to know what's, and she talked to her daughter when I got help and got the school involved and the authorities involved.
Yes.
And then other girls got up and say, yes, this boy has been doing this and sending them, inappropriate pictures and different things. So it's so important to know what's going on and what's bothering your kids or what can affect them. And she was able to get to the root of it and get help for her kid.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to see how sometimes as young people we take it for granted that all is well with them when there are things that are really, really affecting them and bothering them.
Mhm.
And that's why you need to be a close friend to them and talk to them and have that support. Yes, financial, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional support. And they go through a lot too. I think that we go through things because we have bills to pay and they go through a lot.
Yes, it's different challenges, but they go through too.
And then the changes in their body, physically, mentally. As a matter of fact, at that age, they think we're on top of the world. We need to calm down. But I mean, we all go through that, right?
Yes.
Young and thinking that we're on top of the world. But understand they go through different phases of life. But it's very important to also understand that these young people have their own personality, have their own way of things. One would like chicken, one would like chicken, one would eat vegan, one would like soya, one would like pizza, and they're different. And you have to
And
accept
it helped them to give them the opportunity to know that it's okay to talk to you as a parent.
Yeah.
It's okay to let you know to, because I with my kids I tell them to and I ask them what would we like to have this evening for dinner. It's not always about because you're the father, you're the mother. It has to be.
But that's one of the
what
things
you want.
the islands do is like eat what you get,
And that's it.
shut up, take what you get, no choices. It's not like you're spoiling each other. But I mean, you gotta understand that yes, we grew up in a certain situation, but what I would do better, I look at to see what I could do better. What I was subjected to
Yes.
from that island mentality, I wouldn't do. There's some great things, of course, that built character and virtue. Let me use a good example. This morning I came in and I was in the front there in the lobby. And one young lady came in and she said, good morning, and she walked in. Another young lady walked in, I said, good morning to her first. She just walked a couple inches past me and sat on the chair. She didn't answer very, we're not accustomed to that from the islands. You come into a room, you say, good morning, hello, good day. This person comes in and didn't even say anything. Another couple of minutes after, I'm in class, and she comes in at the doorway and asks, is this the right classroom? I'm reluctant to answer because, you're rude. It has nothing to do, you might say, hey, but in the islands, that's not going to be accepted.
Yes.
Come in a room, you go up and say, hello, good morning, hi, how you doing? You come in, you're an adult, you're not a child. So, yes, some people that would be acceptable, but I think as an adult, that should not be acceptable. It has nothing to do now because of the island. You are an adult age.
Person, just being a person itself, it should be okay.
But etiquette
It should be
and morals.
normal. Someone open a door for you, say thank you. It happens all the time. I open doors sometimes for some people. I could be coming out,
Yes.
and I see them going in, and I hold the door, and they just walk right by you.
Yeah,
Go on in.
that happened up to yesterday, and I say like, wow. But you know the thing about it too, as I mentioned the islands to now, I want to remind us morals. A lot of us growing up our children, but we're bringing them up, and we see it dragged up, grown up,
Mhm.
and we don't have morals. We're not instilling good etiquette,
Mhm.
morals, values. You can be whatever. You can be a millionaire, you can be a billionaire, or you can be a broken person.
Yes.
And you're a thief. You become having millions of dollars, you're a millionaire thief.
Yes.
Or you're a billionaire thief. You've got to work on your character, you've got to work on your ways, your attitude, your mannerisms. Because you could be a scumbag
Mhm.
and rich, but you could be rich or poor or just living a regular lifestyle. But people see the virtues,
Mhm.
people see the values that your person value, a person that they respect, a person that they can honor and look up to. And I think that's what the world needs.
And there's many people too that have money, but yet they're still humble. And
Exactly.
there's some people who think they have money,
Yes.
but they're not humble.
Exactly.
Because the value of wealth is not by the amount of money you have.
The Bible says a man's wealth is not in the abundance of the things that he possesses or he possesses. So you see that's their value system. We talk about value. You value yourself in materialism.
Mhm.
And if you value materialism, you realize that, silver and gold shall pass away, but what you have is you.
Yes.
Everything else, all Shakespeare said, he who steals my purse steals trash, right?
Yes.
I would say wallet. Who steals my wallet steals trash. I don't carry a purse. But the thing about it is it's not the money, because you can replace physical things, tangible
Exactly.
things.
Exactly.
But your virtue, your person say a word, he is, a person of quality, a person of standard. How you carry about yourself. You could say, I know that person. Or, he's just whatever.
But it's funny, a lot of people, they say they know you, but they know from what they see, they don't know you. They assume they know you, because you could see someone and go, you don't know them.
Well, they say
That's
don't
what
judge.
to say. A lot of times, that's what people use to say they know
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Don't judge the book by its cover.
Mhm.
The cover tells a lot about the owner, the user,
Yes.
how they take care of them.
Yes.
But there are many times you see that people make wrong assessment of other people, or have a wrong perception,
Mhm.
or a preconceived notion about somebody, and then they realize that the guy in the tie is this scumbag.
Mhm.
The guy in the t-shirt and the old jersey there, he's the better guy. I'm just using an example.
Yes.
Because people value things at face value, whereas God, they say God look at the heart, man look at the outside appearance. So you need to use that as an example, because you take time to get to know somebody and understand their values. And out of the abundance, your mouth, your heart. Out of the abundance, your heart, your mouth speaking. So when a person begins to talk, or their body language and begin to share, you get to understand what's inside of them. But what I'm saying, the point is, we're here talking about the kids, and we need to build virtue in those kids. We need to build manners up. Okay, when I was, when your kids came in this room, your son said hello when he came and set up the equipment. Then your daughter, she came in after. And she said, hello, good day. Now that's a teenager, right? What's her age, roughly? Young 12. So she came and she said, hello. And I said, hello, how are you doing today? She said, fine, what about you? And I think that was exceptional for a young 12-year-old. We have adults, big people, big women, big people. We deal with nurses and CNAs and stuff here. And they come in through and you open the door. Yesterday, full one, well decked up, real makeup and everything, dressed properly. I opened the door for her, she just walked out the door. Said, hello, how are you doing today? And they walk out. And, you know, I'm beginning to have my own notion of certain people who behave a certain way. And I'll keep that to myself. But I think that a lot of people use hurts and excuses for not being kind.
Exactly.
They use those things that I lost my red fire engine when I was small, and my Barbie doll, somebody broke up the arm when I was small. So for the rest of the 40 years, you're going to punish everybody. You can do that. I think if you want people to be nice to you, you gotta be nice to them.
Exactly.
You know, and somebody said this to me, and I've been hearing it 3 or 4 times within the last 2 weeks. Hurt people hurt people. You ever heard that? People who are hurt.
Continue to hurt.
Continue to hurt people, and that's what we need to
change that notion.
Yeah, we need to change it and say, hey, in order for me to get love, I need to show love.
Yes.
Because if you have 2 people in the world, one gives and the other one gives, we both will get.
So if one gives, the other one only want to accept, it can't work.
Somebody, and it can't be one way; it has to be both ways. And the other thing about it, talking about the kids, you gotta lead by example. A leader, you can't bully your kids, you can't bully and force people to do things that they don't want to do. When you realize as a teenager, they have their choices. Our job, I think, is to guide them, make the right, guide them to make the right choices and to see what is good. In the Bible, again, see, I'm a little biblical, but it has a lot of principles. It says, grow up in the way, children in the way of the Lord, and when you get old, they won't depart from it.
Exactly.
So, but how will they depart from it if you never grow them up? They were never grown up, they were never groomed. So there's nothing to depart from. Or they depart already, maybe, whatever.
Yes. You gotta instill some discipline if you want to expect results. You can't. A lot of people, I'm gonna tell you what happens. A lot of people, this is what they do. They have a child, a baby, whatever. They only start finding issues when that baby becomes a teenager. Because all the stuff that they should have done and instilled in the earlier years, so that when that person becomes older to start going out and stuff, they're making issues just when they're on the road.
A lot of them trying to fix the baby, fix the broken. You gotta fix you. Charity begins at home and ends broken. If you don't fix you, how are you gonna fix the child? I mean, the child is seeing. You can talk how much the person or you can see your ways, and you can't be telling the child don't cuss and you cussing. Fire and brimstone.
Exactly. Exactly. When you hear it from the mouth, how could you be doing that?
Yeah.
They learn it from you.
You know, we used to say, we said,
I've heard that.
I've
heard that.
She's not home.
Mommy said to tell you she's not here. She's not here.
Right.
I said, what? And then the mother came up. And said, I was just kidding.
I'm gonna get a slap after.
Oh yeah. You can see that look. You know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. But the thing about it is that we got to whatever it is that your leader, your parent, whatever it is, whatever you're doing, must do it in love. You must do it with a redemptive spirit to build, not to destroy.
Yes. But none of those parents growing up though, they didn't have to spank you in order to discipline you. You have a dad and you have a mother or a grandfather or uncle who automatically, when you see him, you can hear his voice coming, you smell the cigarette that you know he's smoking, and right away you start shaking up before you see him.
I wouldn't comment on that really serious, but I will tell you something. I found one of the best ways to discipline without getting in trouble. Take the toys away. Can I have your phone? Can I have your tablet?
Yes.
shut down the computer, pull the mouse,
Yeah.
take the keyboard away, and you realize when they start screaming and rolling, because at the end of the day, you're taking away the privileges. And that's what I tell them, that's what criminals go through when they go to jail. They lose their privileges,
Exactly.
their freedom. And you understand, in order to survive and be free, we have to still operate within the ambits of the law. So it's teaching them a way that, hey, if you behave a certain way, carry consequences. I do think it shouldn't be international. You know, I grew up where, you know, we've all seen domestic violence and all that. But the thing about it, I don't think that's the solution, and I honestly legal as well. You get yourself into big trouble, you know, men last,
Yeah.
children, women, animals, in the
Yes.
United States. But the thing about it is that what does that solve? I know in our time we had all of this spanking and it worked then, but this is a different era, this is a different time. And I guess it's also illegal, so we will not ever tell you to do that. That's wrong. But let the children know that they need to take responsibility for their action and lack of action. Just like that we do. And let them learn from the wrong ways. Don't encourage them to do anything to get away with the wrong stuff. But you know, cut their allowances, cut back
But
on
you know, even in school, when the child they have ways that they do it in for similar activities, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to agree with me on this one. If you are a teen and you want to be on a certain sports team or in certain activities, they will tell you if your grades is not standard, you can't be on that team.
Yeah.
So that means they are already telling you, make sure you are maintaining a certain level of grades in order for you to participate.
Yeah.
So it's the same way. So like you say, if you have a child and they're not doing well and they're not doing what is required, simple. You start, you know, there's things you can do. And you don't have to just take yourself off.
Yeah.
But you can limit things.
Yeah.
You can make decisions. Okay, so you don't get it at a certain time. Or you're not allowed to do this.
Yes.
You know, there's so many, it's unbelievable the amount of stuff
there
you
are
can
times,
use.
like the boys who, you know, I would say rude or made certain wrong gestures and stuff. I said, go and apologize to the mother. When the mother took away the gadget. I said, go and apologize. She said, no, she's not giving back. I said, don't say that. Go and apologize, explain that you're sorry. And you know she got a change of heart, but I didn't even not do it again.
Right.
And telling her sorry. See that thing. Saying sorry. Eventually they do it because they realize if they have to play with it for half an hour or an hour, without it, I mean like play with the thought.
Yes.
It's better off I say sorry and decide not to do it again.
Yes.
So that way it's correcting them, but it's ensuring that they have a redemptive way of the hey, I will do that wrong again and there's some consequences. I don't want to not having my losing my privileges. So whereas some people say, boy, corporal punishment, whipping, beating. That's not the way, because at the end of the day, we talk about social reform and like prisoners just go to jail. And when they come out, they end up repeat offenders.
Yes.
Is the jail system in the islands something? Is it redemptive? I mean, they go to jail, but you always come out and you do the same thing.
Always go back out.
But then again, look at if the system is trying to change the person. When he goes back out, he doesn't have a job, he doesn't have an opportunity, he doesn't have a skill.
But it's only in certain countries. There's some European countries that I see that have actual system that's designed for people. And how it works is they don't go back to prison.
Yeah.
Because when they get arrested, they have a procedure that they go through. Then they get released. So when they come back in the system, some of them even come up better than they went in.
Yeah, you see, you know, tags, or Florida tags.
I've never noticed that.
No, tags on cars.
Okay.
Or number plate, they're made by prisoners.
Oh, see.
Prisoners who make those in jail, they print those tags for the state. There are a lot of, you know, city places, those who are CIC. One day, first time I was in Georgia and I was driving, and I see these guys on the side of the road, I see the bus and I realized the chain gang.
Yes.
They're cleaning the side of the road and they have on their vests and you see Department of Corrections officers there.
Right.
And stuff. But they use them to clean the sides of the highways and different things. I have When I lived there, was a guy who was a maintenance guy. He told me he done a lot of things. When he came out of jail, he spent 15 years and came out of jail. And you know, he's so glad that he had this maintenance job. Because he said he used to do maintenance in prison for free.
Oh, okay.
Once we
So
get
now,
done,
so now to actually get a paycheck for
get a
him.
paycheck and he's happy and
Happy.
he's more abiding and he's one of the best workers. You know,
Real humble.
yeah, real humble, and he's one of the best workers I see. You know, and the owners treat him really good because he learned from his mistakes. You know, having his family, losing his family, being in jail, and all the different things. So, coming back to the kids thing, we need to do things that will build them up. And the objective is that everybody focuses on, yes, what a person did. We gotta realize cause and effect.
Yes.
Why sometimes kids behave as it way, children behave as it way, and how we correct them, how they should learn from, you know, in the oil and gas industry, I mentioned that a million times. One of the things we used to do years ago was look at our shared learnings, short term, medium term, and long term. What are some of the, how can we fix the problem? Because it doesn't make sense. We identify the problem and we can provide solutions. So we need to identify what's the root cause, what are the contributing causes of the problem, and then we need to identify the solutions and set up action items. We call them action items, where what are the objectives and what are the targets? Objectives, targets, you look at the objectives, what do you hope to be a goal, and the targets refer to the time. So we're going to set some goals and set some time frame when we'll achieve these goals. Now, until these are checked off, we can't go back or move to other items because they're still going to be marked as pending.
Yes.
So we must have what we call corrective action reports, CR. Out of the non-compliances, we collect them and then we have corrective actions that we need to follow up. Sometimes we need outside resources, we need training or retraining, or we need a budget, or whatever is the case, we need to identify how we can correct the problem and then how we can move on. And if it has not been corrected in the right time, appropriately, we need to go back to the drawing board, involve management, involve sitting together. So let's sit down and talk to each other and ask them what they think we should do better.
Mm-hmm.
And they will give you the solution. They know what is right and what is wrong because they're smart. One thing with this generation, they're super smart. Right now, you can tell sometimes you want something fixed and they will fix it on your phone for you. And we bug it and this is the age that they are. So you tell me you're all that smart and all that bright, but they're also smart, not only intellectually and stuff technologically, but they have common sense. So let them exercise it and let them say, what do you think I should do in this position? What do you think I should do? How we should correct it? I hear what they say. They might have stricter regress than you think. I don't use the word punishment.
Right.
They might treat themselves in a harsh
I've
way.
seen this judge that has court, I think it's called in Providence Heights, and he's had instance where a person who got hit by an officer comes to court, but they bring their kids with them.
Yeah.
And he says, come on up here. Call that little 9-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old,
Charge.
whatever the age is. and he says, what happened?
Yeah.
You don't want to hear some of the responses from the little kids.
Yeah.
They are honest. So they would say, my mom was being so and so, was going so and so and so, my dad was going so and so, or whatever. And the judge said, what do you think I could do? And he says, not guilty. But why is it not guilty? But to say the dialect that the judge would have with his kids, and then you'd make a decision based on that. But just to say that, like you say, sometimes it's okay to ask, and sometimes it's okay to get their opinion.
We really joke about the horse already, right? The horse.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling you when I went to the guy in Southwest Ranches,
Mm-hmm.
and he told me, come meet my horse.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, being stupid, I was like, he said, let the horse, call the horse,
Smell it.
smell your hands. And like, he said, horses respond to good people and that kind of thing. And I saw when you was the pictures with
the horses,
pictures of
yes.
horses.
It's true.
And you were saying, yeah,
It's
so
true.
some people believe that the pets are very sensitive and the pets can lead to whether or not somebody good vibes.
Good.
But I think kids too.
It's true.
I think what happens with kids can discern very good. You know, if the child doesn't like you, or not for any bad reason, whatever, sometimes what happens, as I say, they can pick up certain behaviors and see certain things, and don't feel that they don't have the right perception or the right view. They're very intelligent. Don't underestimate.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you take a child to a clinic or a dental clinic or to a store or to a doctor's office, and you can see that their confidence changing. Understand?
True.
So yeah, I think what we need to do is to say, boost their confidence, boost their morale, instill good values, and things like honesty and integrity and empathy. Develop their quality, the quality in their relationship with other people, and then value people, value life, value, there's things, but not value like these cell phones and all, but value relationship, value people, and just work on their morals and their etiquette and everything, and you'll see we have a better society. Because we mentioned about in Jamaica and Trinidad, the youths committing crime, but there are a lot of youths who do positive things.
Yes.
Invented things. I saw this little boy who won the Commonwealth essay writing competition in the UK, but in Trinidad. What about these little youths and people who run in all these races and 100-meter dashes and playing the pan and singing a song?
Yes.
Coffee from Jamaica, for instance. I mean, it was the youngest ever with Grammy Award,
Sure.
Artists, new artists, and there are a lot of people who have great positivity. But behind that positivity, there was somebody who motivated them, and I think they are the parent. Marshall Montano, which I grew up and I knew, was a good artist. His mother, I personally see his mother was always around him. His mother was pushing him. People who were great people always had, great people who were motivated by great people. They are there to push them.
Yes.
So if you want your kids to be great, you have to push them. You have to push them in the right direction, but not to the point where you're pushing them to be disruptive.
Yes.
Or to trample upon other people. Because one of the things is, again, I say, you have to have balance and value other people, and value relationships. Not to be super competitive like it's a race and social balance, survival of the fittest. They don't care about anybody else. Mustn't be like that.
So with all that being said, if you're just joining us, we are having a discussion with a father of 7. He's from Trinidad. I'm a father of only 2, so far, only 2. But I'm from Jamaica, but we tried to have this discussion with a whole variety of persons, different cultures and different upbringing, just to get their different opinion on society today and what they see happening with kids growing up, as well as what they might have been through as a child themselves growing up in their culture and in their region. And the good thing is when you have the opportunity to travel and have the opportunity to see different places, see different people, see different cultures, you learn so much that sometimes you yourself that think you know it all or think you are doing it right might not necessarily mean you are wrong or right, but more so mean you can do things a little different so that you can invest in your child and invest in their future so that they can become someone in tomorrow's society. So with you saying that, what would you give to a father tomorrow, to a father today, to add to what they've already done to their children's future? What would you give them as another father to a father to say, hey, maybe you could do this different, or maybe you could add this to all the buckets that you've already been given?
Show them love is number one thing, and listen to them. Because they most of the time they have a solution. Together with your thinking, coming together, they have a solution for their progress. Listen to them as they grow up. They're not stupid. Don't treat them as a child. Treat them as like a regular individual and hear what they have to say. Get their feedback. And then together combine, you can make the better decision. A lot of people who become doctors and lawyers and different things, and they want to become an artist. They want to become a painter. They want to become a photographer. They want something that was their, that was something their bucket list. So don't force them on a particular track. To flow, and as the Bible says, your talent makes room for you. A person's gift makes room for you. Find out what are the gifts, the natural gifts, the natural talent, see what they like, and help them develop that skill and that skill set or that talent, and you will just grow.
Sounds good.
And also, the moms, you play a integral part too. So don't, I'm not beating up the mother. Thank God for all mothers and all grandmothers and everybody that's who also supported. I know that men have an important role. Ideally, we would like to have everybody play a role, but again, in a real situation, it doesn't happen. But it is possible to be a single parent. But I did say something. I know there's a point in time when a child grows up and they have their mom, but there's also times when they need their father. And don't forget that. Work out what you need to work out. At the end of the day, if things will work out between both of you, at least work together for the sake of the kids. Because that's one of the things I try to deal with. Because a lot of people think, if I and the other half spouse can't get things like in our relationship according to one of what I think what sure best for the kids.
Yes.
So always remember to think what is best for them, because we didn't ask to come in this world. They came in this world, we put them in this world, and we have an obligation to steer them in the right direction.
Good. And when it comes to the child, we will have this video that will be shared and it will be available for others to see. So when it comes to the child themselves, what would you say to a child that's growing up in an environment with a father, with a mother, or without a mother, or without the father?
I think what a parent wants from any other child is love and respect. The parents is making so many sacrifices for you, and I think you don't realize that until you become an adult. Our children take things for granted, take their parents for granted, and has been kind of normal, but that's not really normal. You take it as normal, but that's not normal. All a parent is one feels a little love and respect and a little discipline and it's a better world, because the parents is doing everything for you because they love you so much. Sometimes they see themselves and they see the opportunity that they lost. They're trying to make sure you live a better life. And it hurts a parent when the child takes that for granted, which shuts it off.
Exactly.
And that's bad. And I will tell you something. Your friends, your father used to tell me, a friend will leave you and never bring you back. He said, a friend is one who will oblige but leave you with the judgment intact. They carry you but they don't bring you back. And your parents will never leave you, I assure you that. Especially good moms, good dads, they will never, ever leave you. They will never want to see anything go wrong for their own child. Understand? I gotta be there. Yeah. So I think don't take it for granted. Don't take it lightly. They love you really much. I would do anything for my child. Don't believe it. Yeah, seriously. And you all may not know that, but I'll do anything for my kids. I love them dearly. And that's how I see it. And I think I used to behave a certain way, and we say that you only miss the water till the well run dry. My father died at 52, more than 2 decades ago. But after I realized, I said I wish for his company. He didn't leave anything behind, inheritance or anything for me. But I just wish I had his company and be able to talk to him and reason. Because only when he was gone, I reached a certain age, I realized that he was a person of virtue and value. He never had much money, he never had money, he never had wealth, but his personality and what he shared, his intelligence, he instilled value and that kind of thing. And I said, I wish he was around that we could rap to and talk. And even my grandmother, she passed away, and I told her I was coming to the States and I was going to come back, And when I was up here and I came waiting on my papers years ago, she passed on. I didn't get the opportunity bid goodbye and them kind of thing. So it hurt me a lot because to me, I couldn't keep the promise. I didn't keep it because she passed away before I was coming back home.
Yes.
And hoping to come back home and rejoice with her and different thing. And it didn't happen. So you never know when it's too late. When people gone, they're gone. You can't get them back. So cherish what you have now. Cherish who you have now. Cherish friendship, cherish relationships, cherish everything. Because, bro, when you're gone, you're gone. And that's the truth. And you look at Corona, how many people we lost? Friends, well-wishers. You can be up now, like something, you can be just leaving and something happening to you up the street.
It didn't take long.
It doesn't take long, it takes microseconds. And it's a big change. And that's the whole thing I try to tell people. Try to value people when they're around. Don't cry for me when I'm gone. Show me the love now. Real love me when I'm gone.
Yes.
Show me the love now. This is the time because I wouldn't even feel the love when I'm gone. So do what you can do now. Don't wait on later because later
So you heard it.
may never come.
You heard it. So as kids growing up and as parents having children, and if you have not yet gotten your child or a child that you want, eventually he or she might come. So raise boys, raise girls, but give them and invest in them what you want to see from them. You can't expect to get results at the last moment when you didn't put it in from day one. And don't blame yourself for what's happening. Don't blame your parents, don't blame nobody, but instead just do the best you can do for your child. And this is our first discussion as far as with Dallas, but he's still going to be a father, so be prepared. You might see him again on the program. Thank you guys for joining us, and if you see a message in this and you have someone who has a child or planning on getting a child, or even if they don't, but they are fathers to someone else, share the video with them as well so they can see and enjoy it. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, man.
Bless up.
Happy fathering.
Bless
Take
up.
care. Bye.
We out.
See you.